Staff is asking for consideration and recommendation for approval of a new category of use called smoking lounge. Smoking lounges, because of a recent applicant interest in establishing smoking lounge businesses in the city, specifically hookah lounges, staff's drafted an agreement creating a new principal use within the indoor recreation use category. Because of the expected late evening operating hours of such an establishment, and because it would have an impact on an area similar to the impact that a bar, tavern, or pub would have, staff recommends that this use not be allowed in neighborhood commercial or office districts, but rather that it be allowed in commercial resort, commercial general, commercial intensive, central business district or downtown, and business park zoning districts. And so the proposed definition is, as you see here in the slide, smoking lounge, a business establishment that is dedicated in whole or in part to the smoking of tobacco products, electronic cigarettes, or other substances, including but not limited to establishments known variously as cigar lounges, hookah lounges, tobacco clubs, tobacco bars, etc. This next slide shows what the proposed new revised use table would look like for permitted uses in the various commercial zoning districts. And what we would propose is that smoking lounge be added as a category within it be added as a principal use within the category of indoor recreation use in 5.1.4b. However, unlike other indoor recreation uses, it would not be allowed by right in CN1 or CN2, that's neighborhood commercial 1, neighborhood commercial 2, or office. It would only be allowed in these more intensive commercial districts and permitted by right. The category would be added in the commercial use category table at 5.1.4b right here. And just to see how these work together, the use table lists the categories by table number. So that concludes my formal remarks. Staff recommends approval of these amendments with the caveat or the condition of the change to the discussion of schools, how the changing of the statement, the wording of public or private school in place of elementary, middle, or high school in the bar, tavern, or pub spacing restrictions. So with that, staff is concluding its remarks, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Yeah, on the tobacco thing, how does that jive with the city's no smoking ordinance?
Yes. The city's no smoking ordinance is found in the municipal code. Yeah. And so here we're talking unified, it's a very good question. We're talking about our unified development code, that is our zoning provisions. The smoking provision, you are right, the city has one, and it's in section 23-76 of our municipal code. And what it states is that it shall be unlawful for any person to perform the following acts in any public building in the city or within 10 feet of an entrance used by the public to any public building, except in passing. And then it lists the various prohibitions. You can't smoke, you can't carry a lighted cigar, cigarette, or tobacco containing pipe, etc., etc. But it goes on to say, the provisions of this section do not apply to retail tobacco stores and cigar bars so long as smoke from these places does not infiltrate into areas where smoking is prohibited under this section. It also goes on to say, the provisions of this section do not apply to private clubs so long as smoke from these places does not infiltrate into areas where smoking is prohibited. So there are specific we do have a smoking prohibition. A bar, you can't smoke in a bar. You can smoke, there's an exception for patios. Nothing in this section shall be construed to prohibit smoking on outside patios. So a bar with an outside patio, you can smoke in the outside patio. But you can't smoke in the bar, you can't smoke in the restaurant. In this instance, a smoking lounge would be considered a form of a cigar bar. There would be a specific carve out for smoking lounge as being a form of a cigar bar or other tobacco sales establishment, and so the citywide prohibition wouldn't apply to these smoking lounges.
Commissioners, any other questions or comments for staff? Okay, thank you, Mr. Collins. At this time, I'm going to open the public hearing for item number 7 under the text amendment. Anybody wishing to speak on this item? Okay, there being none, I'm going to close the public hearing on item number 7 and we'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I did want to report that I did receive an email